Serie A 2022-2023. Just a couple of days away by the time you listen to this. We are recording a bit earlier. Busy summer for the Calcio Guys. Gianni, Giano. I'm Nicholas. How are you guys doing?
Pretty okay. Adrian, you two want to talk about what's happening with you?
Listen, it's been a mush week for me. I finally caught do I say the word C word, the C word, COVID? Do I say it? Caught it last week. It's been an up and down week for me. Finally, I guess recovering and back to work tomorrow and back to the podcast. So exciting times. Excited for the season to start, of course, but yeah, it's been an interesting summer. With the mercato still going on, we still have about a month away of mercato. So there's a lot of talk about. It's a busy time for us and for the league. So definitely excited.
So we each caught it at this point, just like we've each seen our teams win a Scudetto, including Gianni, if you want to count Roma. Do you remember? You remember that? You would have remembered that Scudetto. I mean, you're 9 years old.
Yeah, like I obviously don't have like strong memories. I was 8 going on 9, but like I don't have like fantastic memories. I just remember just watching a really good team and I was really excited. Like there was obviously players that stood out, like Totti, Battistuta, and Cafu and stuff like that. But like there wasn't like Montella. Like it was just names that stood out. But if I want me to tell you like what I was doing at each game, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't tell you. I just remember that it was pretty awesome. And if in hindsight, if I would have had a chance to go back and like relive it, I would, because I mean I haven't seen besides in terms of Scudetti, I haven't seen another one since. So it'll be really good to witness that again.
Yeah.
And we're talking about Scudetto, so we might as well start there. We're here to preview the Serie A season, give our predictions like we have been doing for the past 4 years, basically. As I said, so we're July 31st today. We're going to publish this episode sometime closer to the Serie A kickoff date of August 13th, I believe. Gianni, you were saying before, this is probably the earliest Serie A has started, which I'm pretty sure you're right. It's early, I guess, because of the World Cup. So we get Calcio in mid-August. You kind of have to wonder what's happening with the games. I know there's going to be later games, but you hope like the 6 o'clock local time kickoff games aren't affected by the heat, because it's still going to be hot. It's Italy. It's August. It's going to be hot, and so we're not going to have too many of the earlier starts. Going into the season, I think this is going to be one of the most competitive of recent memory. I know we could have said the same thing last year and even the year before that, but honestly, we're gonna go through our predictions. You're gonna see it's this year. It's so hard to predict. Maybe in past years it was a lot easier to predict, but this year it's really up in arms. I know, we're not done the mercato, so there's still a lot left to be decided there. There's injuries already affecting teams, and at the end of the day, this is why we watch the games. This is why the games are played on the pitch. But we'll start with the top 4 guys. Maybe not necessarily Scudetto. We'll start with the top 4. If you guys want, you could even go top 7 for teams who make the Europa League. And if you want, give your Scudetto predictions too. And obviously, you give these predictions. Give us the why. Because our listeners want to know. Who wants to start, Adri or Gianni?
Well, I have a dog barking over here, so I guess I'll just keep my mic muted until he calms down. So go ahead, Adrian.
Sounds good. So shout out to the pooch in Johnny's place. Yeah, guys, listen. I think it's cliche to say, like Nick said, this year is going to be a tough year to predict. I mean, as cliche as it is, I think it's pretty accurate as well. Just because these last 2 seasons, the landscape has changed. We were so accustomed, as everybody knows, to obviously a Juventus dominance, winning 9 in a row, with Inter, dethroning them, and then Milan winning last season. It's really changed the landscape of the Serie A, and it's really become more of a race to the finish. It's not one dog at the top anymore. It's really a collective of teams right now, and especially this season, teams are getting stronger. As we spoke about, I think last time we recorded, and just common knowledge. I mean, everybody's watching the mercato. Everybody's listening to what's going on with their teams, and the top teams are getting stronger. I mean, maybe some more than others, but again, like we know, and Johnny has said it time and time again in our chat, the mercato's long but over. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see how things pan out, and I'm excited to see how players on new teams produce. And saying that, even players coming back to teams they used to play for, how they produce. We spent the last time we spoke, obviously Lukaku coming back to Inter. Obviously he's going to get his goals. I don't know how many, but I think he really brings out another layer to that Inter side that's already so strong. I think obviously, Roma fans are kind of getting excited. The acquisitions that they've made. The biggest one obviously being Dybala, as of late. That's a big move. And keeping the core as well for them is a big thing too. Keeping the Zaniolo's for now. Obviously Pellegrini, Tammy. Inserting Dybala in there. It's exciting for I think Roma fans. Milan, I think, are the only ones that haven't made big splashes. I mean, we're recording now Sunday evening, Sunday night. Expected medicals and official signatures for CDK, De Ketelaere, coming to Milan finally. They finally were able to come to an agreement. So again, that's an exciting young investment for Milan. I think it adds to their already young core as well. So it's exciting. I think they still need other pieces, and other pieces I think will come. But the acquisitions that they made are fine. I think their starting 11 is fine. I think it's more the depth that needs some work. You turn it on to Juve, and they have. They've made their acquisitions. We might not see them right off the hop. Obviously with Pogba's injury, Chiesa is still out, so we'll probably be seeing them later on in the year. But a guy like Di Maria, to see how he does in Serie A off the hop should be exciting. So again, guys, I think this is just an overall, exciting time in Serie A. Napoli, even though their acquisitions, their departures have been harder to accept than their acquisitions. I'm saying that as an outsider looking in. They've still been pretty decently busy in the mercato. Obviously bringing the defender, the South Korean Kim, Ostigard as well. Obviously Kvara there from the Georgian winger. They've added pieces. It might not be all the fancy pieces, but they've added pieces to make their team a bit more competitive. So I don't know. I'm excited. Top four, I have to really say it's going to be a fight. I think the three-headed race it ended up being more of a two-headed race down the stretch. But the Milan, Inter, and Juve, I think are going to be in that top four for sure. I think those. I mean, unless something drastically happens to these teams, I think they're capable enough to fight for top four. For me, it's more that fourth spot who's going to really claim it, and that's going to trickle down even to the Europa League spots for me, and Conference League spots. Because for me, I think there's also another three teams in there that can make a splash, and that's for me Roma, Lazio, and Napoli. Who's going to claim that fourth spot? For me, it's still a toss-up. It's really hard to say. I've liked what I've seen from Roma, like I said earlier. Napoli, like I just mentioned too, it's kind of going under the radar, their mercato, even though it's not, like I said, not all flashy. And Lazio, I think they need to add a couple more pieces, but the pieces that they have added, Romagnoli, Casale, the goalkeeper. I'm probably missing some names. The names have escaped me right now, but they also look pretty good. So I don't know. For now, I'm going to say Roma in that last spot, but I think those can easily flip flop between those three teams that I mentioned. Roma, Napoli, and Lazio. So I think it's an exciting time because it's not only a top four battle. I think it's a top seven battle, top six, top seven battle, all the way to the top. So I'm just I'm excited to see how the season kicks off. I'm also excited to see how the mercato ends, because I think there are a lot of pieces and things to address for these top teams still. And I'm excited to see if they pan out, if they don't. But again, we'll be watching, and we'll all be excited to watch how things pan out. So, like I said, those are the teams that I have in there. Maybe we'll get back to Scudetto near the end of the episode. I don't know, but for me, it's going to be those teams. Johnny?
Top 4: Inter, Juve, Milan, Roma. 5th, 6th, Lazio, Napoli. 7th place, Fiorentina. I don't know who's going to be Scudetto winner. Inter looks really strong with adding Lukaku back. Roma looks pretty good offensively with Dybala, but the thing is they're missing a lot of good pieces in order to be a Scudetto contender for now. Milan has added, they lost Kessie, which is a big piece, but De Ketelaere is finally confirmed. De Ketelaere, however it's pronounced, added. Napoli, at least it's not as strong. They're not as strong as they used to be. That's why they put them out of the top 4 looking in, because I don't see them being better than Inter, Milan, or Juve. And I mean, you could say it's a toss-up between Roma and Napoli, but I don't know. I feel like Roma's got more of that chemistry because they added some pieces, but it's more or less the same squad. We'll see what Pellegrini looks like after having that fractured skull in that preseason game versus, I think it was Tottenham. Yeah, it was the Tottenham preseason game. We'll see how it's going to look like for him for the start of the season, or how long he's going to be out. But yeah, that's my top 4 is going to be Inter, Juve, Milan, and Roma. 5th, 6th, Lazio, Napoli, and then Fiorentina 7th. Just to throw a dart on the wall, it's July 31st. Market's not done yet. Obviously, it's impossible to make any of these predictions because players can leave or come at any point. So that's why, I really don't feel as confident in these choices. But I'd probably say maybe Scudetto winners probably Inter. Juventus, they lost McKennie, they lost Pogba.
Chiesa still out.
Chiesa's still out. There's a lot of big names on their team that's still, they're not a healthy roster, and it's not a detriment to them. And Allegri's system still hasn't sunk in yet, but we'll see. Obviously, preseason can be a determining factor. There's teams that do horribly in the preseason and do well in the regular season. In any sport that you watch, any type of sport. So,
very true.
Yeah. But Inter, I guess, Scudetto winner. If I'm going to throw a random prediction, dart against the wall, hopefully it sticks. Inter, but we'll see.
That's the prediction I'm gonna go with too. I'm just gonna go right off the bat. I'm gonna say Inter with the Scudetto too. But honestly, it's extremely difficult to predict because obviously, I'm not watching any of these preseason games. Watch only a bit of the Juve preseason games, so I can't tell how teams are playing right in the preseason. Whatever. But I'm going based off the fact that Inter really, based off the transfers, they became a better team. They definitely became a better team this season. They're bringing in Onana, Mkhitaryan, definitely obviously bringing Lukaku back, Asllani, Bellanova as those depth players. Milan, I don't know if they got better. I don't think they got worse either. I think when you're Scudetto champions, how much better obviously you could get a lot better still, but they were the best team in Italy for a reason. So, yes, they lost Kessie. They're bringing De Ketelaere. So we'll see. I think Milan's even. So there you go. Did Inter get better than Milan? We'll see. That's what we're gonna have to wait on the pitch. Juve, I thought they got better, but with these injuries, they're not Scudetto. I think they're top 4. They're gonna. I expect probably the same season as last year. Hopefully better. Hopefully they survive the first half of the season up until January. They survive. They get past the Champions League group stage. They're maybe still in the top 4, top 3, hopefully by January, because January is hopefully that's when Pogba's coming back. That's after the World Cup, so hopefully there won't be other injuries. I don't know when Chiesa is going to be healthy. McKennie's out a month. It's just all these injuries already piling up. So I already think that's negative against them in the Scudetto race. So I don't see them fighting for the Scudetto this year, but definitely top 4 as they always do. Number 4 is tough because you look at the standings from last year. Napoli did finish 16 points ahead of Roma. Did Roma get 16 points better? Did Napoli get 16 points worse? Or if you want to split in the middle, 8 points worse for Napoli, 8 points better for Roma? We'll have to wait and see. I do think Roma will finish ahead of Napoli just because they did have a better mercato, but we'll really have to see. The rest of the top seven, 6, 7, you could throw a dart at a board. It's tough, right? You got Fiorentina and Atalanta. Atalanta, I think they're losing their grip on a team that they once were. So I could see them finishing anywhere 7 to 10. Lazio is always in the conversation. They're pretty much even as they were last year. So maybe you could lock in that number 6 for them, number 7. That we'll have to wait and see. You got Fiorentina, you got Verona. Torino, they didn't have a bad season last year, but I don't think they definitely got worse. Losing Belotti, losing Bremer. Sassuolo, we'll have to see what their mercato looks like as they lost Scamacca, but they did still keep Berardi and Frattesi for now, Raspadori for now. Most likely Raspadori's out the door anyway, so we'll see. But
it's a big one if Napoli picks him up, huh? It's a big one.
Yeah,
I like that move.
Yeah,
other teams should be looking at that.
It's a nice little move for Napoli. $2.5 million contract, pretty good. And you just heard my parents' dog CJ staying here for these next few days. But anyways, that's it.
So I guess I have to say a Scudetto winner. I guess I have to say now. You guys say
I guess you have to say it.
So
yeah, I was away from the mic. Sorry, I thought you said a Scudetto winner.
No, I didn't think we were gonna say it, but and I was debating whether to play mind game. Maybe I still will. I don't know. Inter, but I'm gonna go Milan, guys. I'm gonna go the Dupe. I'm gonna be the only one. You heard it here first. If it sticks, if it happens, I look like a star. If it doesn't, I don't. But again, for me, it's Milan or nothing. I think a lot of fans definitely want to get that second star before our rival cousins in Inter. So I think it's possible. Even though on paper, people are going to point towards Inter. Fine, and it is the truth. But again, we can't sit here and say, oh yeah, on paper this team is this, on paper that team is that. The games are played on the pitch, and Milan had a good year last year on the road, especially at home as well. So the pieces are there. I think we definitely do need more acquisitions though. This last month in mercato, I really need to see more. But the Catalera looks promising. Like I said earlier, Adli, I've loved in the preseason so far. He's another young talent. So if he can slot in at that cam position, and our core is our core, I'm pretty confident going forward. It's just going to be those depth pieces. How they're going to go? How they're going to play? How they're going to do? Playing 3 times a week. The World Cup. We're in a World Cup year in the winter time, right? So there's a lot of factors in all these teams. We hope for no injury. Obviously, we have to expect it, but we hope for not anything serious. But I'm gonna go Milan. I'm gonna go against the boys here tonight, and I'm gonna stick with my team.
Hey, Jay, I forget what our predictions were last year. Definitely, I don't think anybody predicted Milan, so we'll have to see. Maybe.
I think we predicted either Juve or Inter. No, we predicted Juve. I think. And we were totally wrong. And Inter, I think we didn't predict too high. I think Johnny, I think, did.
We thought the Scudetto specialist Allegri was going to do something, but he didn't.